So I've known God since I can't even remember. I was saved at like 5. I was laying hands at 5. So it was like it was so many different things and so many situations that I could speak about, that I could talk about. But the main thing that kept coming to mind was my experience I had through G9.
Amen.
And how it changed my life and how it's still changing my life today on an everyday basis. So I didn't write anything. I just wanted to make sure I remembered to touch on certain things because it's so crazy how they all connect. Like God lined things up, but you really can't tell till you look back how God lined things up for you. And so even though I've known God for so long and he was always in my life, it wasn't until I was maybe 18 that I really started to like have that change in myself. Like I always knew I was different. I always knew I was peculiar. I always knew I didn't fit in. And it kind of became okay for me. But it wasn't until I was 18 that God started to show me why I was different. And I met Miss Yvette at the church I was saved at. I mean, that I was baptized in at 18. That was like the big start for me as far as my relationship with God and becoming intimate and things like that. So I think when G Not started, I think I was 20, 21, 22, something. It was like right after I had Lena. So I think I was 21. And I was baptized at 18, and then I went to college, and that's when I became like out of my shell with my peers. Like I always loved God, but it was only around church folk and my family. And then in college, I started to come out of myself and being comfortable with talking about God to different people and things like that. And not too long after school is when Miss Yvette brought up G-Not. And the crazy thing is, I mean, I think out of all the things God has positioned me with, that is the strongest hunger I've ever had with anything in my life to do whatever God. I mean, it was like, you know how you look forward to Christmas? That was me looking forward to Fridays. Like I don't know, I just wanted to go. I never looked forward to anything. I love God, but church wasn't. I wasn't looking forward. I never looked forward to church, but Friday nights I always look forward to it. And I just it like almost felt like a bubble inside of me that like you kind of like can't control it, feel like it's about to pop. That's how it felt. And you know, it went on like that for a while, and then it's almost like G-Not gave me the tools for my life. Like my tools when it came to God, like as far as studying, as far as finding that place with God and being able to look at me, not everybody else around me, but look at me and do the things I need to do. So when it's things I go through in my life, it's from stepping stones at G-Not that I know how to deal with certain things. Like I remember you taught us how to use the index in the Bible. I never knew that. As long as I read the Bible, I never went through the index. So when I go through something, I look in the index and look up, I don't know, hurt or pain, and then I look up all the scripture. But I learned that from being in G-Not. And then there was our one-on-ones. So from our one-on-ones, it was things that I didn't knew that I was dealing with. And I'm not going to talk about all of them, but the main thing was my relationship with my dad. And I was a girl who had my dad since I was born. He never missed a beat. He lived in the same house as me. He was there for Christmas, birthdays, everything. But there still was a piece that was missing that I hated my dad for. That's just what it was. It was hurt that turned to hate. And it was from talk, and I don't even know if you know how much I thank you for that conversation, because it was so many things over the years that I've been able to grow when it comes to my relationship with my dad. I mean, it got to the point where I couldn't look at him without being angry. It was like when I was with my dad, I was constantly at a 7. So when we went through something, now I'm at the 10. We arguing, we fighting, disrespect. I shouldn't even be disrespectful to my father, but disrespectful, all of that. But after our one-on-ones, I got to the point where it was like, my dad did his best, and I can't put the weight of perfection on him. And I can't take that on. And it's just like you become, because I'm so loving to so many other people, why can't I be loving to my own father? So it was like I had to get a God-like mindset as far as how to be with him. And I've been so much happier because of it. He's a great grandfather to my kids. And I don't walk, and it's like, you take it into relationships, you take it into friendships, you take it into like all kinds of things, anything that I got to do with a man. It's like it takes you, and it's like from that healing it changed my perspective on everything, and I'm so much happier because of it. Or it went to the point where you waiting for your parent to come to you and make it right. It went to the point where I don't even know if I was going there, but I decided that I was going to find something for him to do, and I was going to be the one to push it, and it was football. And now that's all we do. Football. I even gamble. I know you're not supposed to gamble, but that's what, that's what we do together. That's what we, and it's so much better. I mean, we have conversations now where I'm the only person in the family that can get him to see where he's wrong at, because I took the time out for it to be something other than just bashing him, or something other than find you to do better, because I'm always so angry. And now we at such a better place. And then I got the tools to give to my sisters that's hurting, so that they can move forward in their life, with my dad. And then my kids, their dad, but it's like when the time comes for them, I can give them the tools for their healing and things like that. That's how you break curses and things like that. So that was the biggest thing for me, was the one-on-one. And then and I wanted to show you how today, how G-Not is just, it's still, like Miss Yvette said, and it's crazy because I didn't even think about it. It wasn't until I was here where it's like, oh, I didn't even care that I left, and I didn't. It never hit my mind like, oh, you left, you gonna go. It never hit my mind. I was just like, oh yeah, I'll be there. Like, I don't, whatever, that's God. And I'm not gonna question it. But the things I go through today, you always go through things. And I just was talking about this last night, and I had one of the biggest things I've been through since Gina is my daughter. I'm always talking about her. So about a year ago, I had my daughter. It was just crazy how it went down. And everything was normal in my pregnancy, everything. And then 1 week I found out I had gestational diabetes. The next week at my gestational diabetes appointment, my blood pressure was 141 over like 80. By the time I got to the hospital, it was 200 over 100. To the point for 2 days, they could not get my blood pressure down. I was in the IC unit. Then I finally got it down, and I just was like, I went back to those, because life be going right, and you don't even be thinking about, you spend time with God, but then sometimes you got to get back to the basics. And I remember laying in that bed the night before I had her, after they got my blood pressure down, and I went down onto like a lesser intensive unit, and I just was praying and getting back to where I started from, like, God, help me, like, I can't save her. She in me, I'm carrying her, but I can't save her. I need you to save her. And I woke up the next day, terrible pain. Like, I mean, I can't even, it was like, first it started off in the middle of the night as gas. And I'm like, give me some gas X, give me some, when you're a nurse, I know what I need, give it to me. So I'm like, I need all of this different stuff. And it was just like, as the time went on, the pain was worse, and it was worse, and it was worse. And I'm like, am I calling on God, like, please, like it's almost like I knew death was not on my heels, but on her heels. And it was like, I was praying to God, save, to myself. And I was by myself. Like, her dad, he wasn't there. My mom, she was there, but she wasn't there. Like, she was checking on me, but she had to work. So I'm in this hospital room by myself, and I wake up, and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, and the pain got worse, and I'm just like, I can't take this. But I know labor pains, and it wasn't labor pains. And they like, you sure you're not in labor? I said, no, I'm not in labor. It's not in the right place. It don't feel right. And then next thing I know, they putting oxygen on my face, and they rushing me downstairs to wherever that is, the OR. And they like, she in distress. But then they can't, what's it called? You know how you get numbed for a C-section? They can't numb you. They can't, they can't find a spot. They can't get me in. And I'm just like, I want them to save my baby. I mean, do what you got to do. I don't want to feel no pain, but at some point we just gonna have to do it. So I didn't get the numbness and all of that different stuff. So then I had the C-section, came out. Worse, then I'm back up. Now it's me. She fine. Thank God. Now it's me. I'm back on that in between of and honestly, all of this stuff my mom told me. But I'm on that, like, my blood pressure's up again, and they trying to save me and all of those different things. And then I didn't see my daughter, I think, for the first 2 days. She was in the NICU. I didn't meet her until I think either the end of my second day or my third day in the hospital. And I went to meet her, and then the crazy thing is, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I got pictures in my phone of my baby from before I met her, and it just, even the thought of it just breaks my heart, where you can just see it in her face. She just looked lifeless to me. Like, she alive, but she looked lifeless to me. But after I met her, I never in my life, besides the fact that God died on the cross for me, been so thankful and know who he is. Because he saved my baby and he saved me. And I don't deserve it. I never deserved it. And that's just to say that I thank you, because at that time, I may not have had the tools to know what I needed to do.
Hallelujah.
To save me, to save my baby, to keep me,
you,
all
God.
of those different things.
Thank
It
you,
means
God.
so much to me, because I know if I'm using them now, I'll probably use them for the rest of my life, and my daughter's going to use it, because I'm going to teach them what I know. And I am so thankful to everything. I'm thankful for God for for letting you know to choose me. It's, every step of the way it's been a blessing. Even when I left, it hurt to leave. You know, and there was other things that came afterwards of learning and experiencing, learning what I needed to do. But that it was the foundation for me.
Amen.
It was the foundation for me. That's it. Thank y'all for listening.
Amen.